Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. I got some bad news. I guess you could look at it as good news depending on which way you look at it, but Kraken has shut down its staking services, and that will probably include its yield services, generating up to 26%. Now, some of you might think this is sad, but the SEC, just like we reported on the rumor that Brian Armstrong came out with yesterday, looks like it's trying to shut down staking and CEFI in the United States. But you know what? That's going to push people towards DeFi. I do not believe the SEC can actually enforce every single citizen not to stake, and I don't think they actually have the power or the right to do it. They want, like, their mandate is try to protect the investors, and I think suing every single investor that actually individually stakes in their wallet is not fulfilling that mission. But outside of that, they would never actually be able to find all the individual investors anyways, and I think they would face a lot of litigation if they actually tried to do that. So the thing is, like, what this is actually doing is actually the SEC is forcing everyone to do decentralized staking, which in essence will actually screw the government, especially the IRS, from collecting taxes. And I do think the government eventually is going to recognize this and they'll be like, well, hey, you know what? This is stupid. We're going to change the rule so the SEC does not have jurisdiction and does not have so much power over crypto because they're costing us billions of dollars in revenue. And also, they're basically making the IRS's job a lot harder. Because think about it. If people stake at the exchanges, if people actually stake at the exchange reports to the IRS, so they can collect funds pretty easily. But if you stake individually, individuals may not be so good at reporting the IRS, and they might be actually losing out on a lot of revenue. So I think eventually the IRS is going to be pretty damn pissed off at the SEC. Now, the big question is, what about Ethereum? Now, big Ethereum pools, I think Kraken and also Coinbase are going to have to shut down their staking services. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. I don't see how that does not happen myself. But the biggest one is Lido DAO. Lido DAO is based in the UK. And the UK regulations are not the same as the US regulations. At least for right now, they do not seem to be following in the US footsteps right now. And plus, the Lido DAO protocol is decentralized, and there's really no way they can shut down a truly decentralized protocol. So I definitely think the SEC is basically forcing everyone into self-custody, and they're going to make it hard for the government to track revenue, and they're going to cost the government a lot of money in the long run, and things will actually change. And I don't think the SEC is actually operating with a law on their side, because there is no law about cryptos. There's no law saying that cryptos are securities, and there's congressmen saying that cryptos aren't securities. And plus, a circuit judge has actually said that his ruling that cryptos are securities only applies to primary sales and that they do not apply to secondary sales of the coin. So coins on exchanges are generally secondary sales, so they would not be considered securities and they should not fall under SEC jurisdiction. I really, really hope that someone challenges the SEC in court sometime and the SEC basically loses that case. I really want them to lose the Ripple case, but the secondary securities thing has to be caught up. And I really, really, really hope that someone does challenge them successfully on the secondary securities thing and that they lose, because that would finally once and for all, and then they appeal and they lose the appeal, because that would once and for all destroy the SEC's power over regulating the exchanges, which it should have been destroyed already. I don't think Coinbase or Kraken are really going to try to fight the SEC. It's incredibly expensive to fight them. It's a long process. And these exchanges, especially in a bear market, may not actually be able to afford it. But I do expect somewhat of a drop for cryptocurrency right now as this news actually permeates, because a lot of people, at least in the United States, do depend on these centralized protocols for staking and yield farming, and this might make crypto less attractive for them. Now, I do think Gary Gensler is working on behest of the fat cats, and especially the bankers, because banks know that they can't actually compete against crypto staking for basically interest rates, and they want to shut down competition. So I do think that the SEC and Gary Gensler is compromised by the fat cats. I mean, it seems like they were compromised by SBF, so I think they are definitely compromised by bigger donors and the overall financial industry. So let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. This is breaking news, and I will see you guys later.